Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another episode of English with Love. Today, we will take you on an incredible journey through the life of one of the most inspiring men in history. A man who faced failure again and again, but never gave up. He kept fighting, kept rising, and finally became one of the greatest leaders the world has ever seen. This man is Abraham Lincoln.
The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here.
So, get ready to hear the story of his struggles and victories. Join us on this emotional and exciting journey. On a cold winter day, in a small wooden cabin that looked more like a shelter than a home, a baby was born. No one could have imagined that this little boy would grow up to be one of the greatest leaders in history. His name was Abraham Lincoln. He was born into a very poor family. Life was harsh, and from a very young age, he had to face its cruelty. His father was an uneducated farmer who worked hard every day just to put food on the table. His mother, Nancy, was a kind and loving woman. But life had not been easy for her either. Abraham had a tough childhood. His family was so poor that he could only go to school for a few months. But there was something special about this boy, his love for learning. He read every book he could find. Sometimes he walked miles just to borrow a book from a neighbor. At night, he sat under the dim light of a candle, reading every word with passion. He did not care about what others said. He knew that the only way to escape poverty was through education. But just when he needed his mother the most, life struck him with another cruel blow. His mother became sick. Day by day, she grew weaker. Little Abraham sat by her side, tears in his eyes, praying for her to get better. His mother closed her eyes forever. Losing his mother broke his heart. But instead of giving up, he decided to become stronger. He learned that life is cruel, but those who keep going will eventually win. Years passed. Abraham grew up and decided to start a business. He and a friend opened a small shop. But things did not go as planned. The business failed, they lost money, and in the end, the shop had to close. Not only had he failed, but he also ended up in debt. He had to work for many years just to pay back what he owed. Most people would have given up, but not Abraham. He made a bold decision. He entered politics. At the age of 23, he ran for a seat in the state legislature.
To the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion.
He gave passionate speeches, shared his ideas, and worked hard to win people's trust. But when the results came out, he was shocked. He had lost. The people had not voted for him, but he did not stop. He tried again, and this time he won. He became a member of the state legislature, but his success did not last long. In the next election, he lost again. He continued with his life. He worked, he fought, and he never stopped trying. But every time he moved forward, it felt like life pushed him back even harder. During this time, he fell in love with a beautiful young woman named Anne Rutledge. For the first time, he felt true happiness. But just when everything seemed to be going well, tragedy struck again. Anne became ill and died. His heart broke. He fell into deep sadness. People said he would never recover from this grief. But he learned that life never stops for anyone. He tried politics again. He ran for Congress. He lost. He ran for the Senate. He lost again. People laughed at him. They called him a loser. But every failure taught him something. He learned that people vote for those who give them hope. He improved his speeches, learned how to connect with people, and understood what made a great leader.
That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom.
Every failure was preparing him for something bigger. In 1860, he made the biggest decision of his life. He ran for President of the United States. This time, things were different. All his past failures had made him stronger and wiser. He won. He became the President of the United States.
The President of the United States!
But this was only the beginning of his biggest challenge. The country was on the edge of a brutal civil war. His enemies wanted him gone. They threatened him, insulted him, and said he was not fit to lead. But Abraham Lincoln, the man who had failed so many times, refused to give up. During the war, he made a decision that changed the world forever. He abolished slavery.
He is as much entitled to these rights as the white man.
This decision made him even more enemies, but he stood firm. Eventually, the war ended, and slavery was abolished forever. He had achieved his dream. He said that he knew freedom is a God-given right. If slavery is not wrong, then nothing is wrong. He also referred to democracy and equality in his famous speech at Gettysburg in 1863, stating that this nation under God should experience a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, should not perish from the earth. Lincoln saw slavery not only as an inhuman injustice, but also a threat to the unity and values of America. Despite opposition, he decided to abolish slavery because he believed that freedom is a fundamental and inalienable right. He fought for this goal with strong faith and determination.
Lincoln had always said that if slavery isn't wrong, then nothing is wrong.
His decision changed the world and forever immortalized his name in history. Abraham Lincoln failed many times, but each time he learned something new. He understood that failure is not the end, it is a lesson. He proved that success belongs to those who rise every time they fall. So, if you ever feel like giving up, if you feel like life is too hard, just remember Lincoln. Maybe, just maybe, your victory is just one step away. Dear friends, we have reached the end of our program. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Until next time, goodbye.